So I play a lot of free-to-play games. Now that I think about it, right? I play RuneScape for one. I play RuneScape. I've been known to enjoy some Fortnite from time to time. I've tried Apex Legends. I like every card game under the sun. I'll try them at least once. So I've played the Magic the Gathering Arenas of the world, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duels, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Linkses, and I've never got around to trying Hearthstone, but maybe I will. Hearthstone. Apologies. I even play other free-to-play games. I've played some free-to-play games that no longer exist, like Rumbleverse, and now currently, which still exists, thank goodness, Rumble Club. So I have something to punch people in that isn't an actual true fighting game. The Brawlhallas, the Multiverses, the Call of Duty Warzones. I've never played Warzone. I'll never play Warzone. I've even tried Valorant. I got called a slur. I got called the N-word like 6 times in 2 games. I've never booted it up ever again. So most of these games have the same thing in common. You're paying for them. As much as you think you're not, you are. Now, you may not be paying for them originally in money. You are paying for them in what almost is always more important. You know, they say time is money when it comes to like business and probably everything in life. And what you're paying for with a lot of these free-to-play games, especially things that are extremely grindy, like something like Genshin Impact or Honkai Star Rail, is time. They rope you in with the idea of the game being free-to-play, and then most things in the game that you want as a way to support the game cost either a little bit of time or a lot of money. Now, I say that because they're almost always in battle passes. Battle passes as a concept are paying for content to unlock. I don't know if you guys understand that. People are like, oh, battle passes are cool. I like battle passes. They give me something to grind for. You're buying something to grind for. I just want that to go through your head. When I used to buy a map pack or a content pack in Call of Duty on the Xbox 360, that split up the player base, so it was pretty bad. But when I did that, I paid for it and I got it all up front. Now I am buying that, the skins, the camos, the lobby screens. I'm buying all of those things, and then now I have to spend a couple 10s to 20s of hours, maybe more than that. Let's say 30s to 40s of hours grinding to unlock all of the things that I just purchased, with the promise or with the incentive that almost always the next season's battle pass, if I don't spend any of the money that I get from this current one, will be free and I can grind all over again. It's an endless content loop where the content itself is you just playing the game. Battle passes are cool when you're only playing one game. That's something I'll admit now. If you're playing just one game, you pay for the battle pass, you like the game enough, right? It's a Fortnite and X Defiant. Rest in peace, X Defiant. It's a Rumbleverse, because that was me only playing Rumbleverse. Didn't play literally anything else that had a battle pass at that point in time. You play that, and it's basically the only thing you're playing. It makes the idea of the battle pass not feel so time consuming. But once you're playing multiple games with battle passes, instead, it becomes this time juggling management fest where you're playing all of these games that are free, but rope you in with the idea that you have to spend time unlocking things in them. And if you've already paid for the battle pass, most normal people, my wife's not like this, so I'm so proud of her and I'm happy for her. I'm trying to see if my brain also works that way. I don't think it does, because I'm like a value driven guy. She said, yeah, if I don't finish a Fortnite battle pass, even though I already bought it, like, it's fine, whatever. I'll just buy V-Bucks the next time I see cool things in the battle pass and get that battle pass and try to finish it. My brain says, I've already paid for this battle pass at the beginning of the season. I have to finish this shit. Like, I know that it's a me thing and a lot of other people, and it is a mental trick. It is the trick that they're trying to catch as many people with as they can, because if they can keep their numbers high, the game is easier for investors to say, yes, you have all of these players still online, and players can eventually become payers. Yes, we will give you more money to keep your game sustained. Congratulations. I should say your live service sustained. Now, the idea that battle passes are bad for gaming is an interesting one, because that's like the big thing that a lot of people ask is, are battle passes like bad for gaming? Yes and no, in the same way free-to-play games can be considered bad for gaming, because they create an industry and a precedent that gamers won't need to pay for games anymore and will now only pay for cosmetics or trinkets, loading screens, things like that. And it makes the bulk of the content of a game free. And that is terrifying for up-and-coming developers, like very small developers who want to make multiplayer games. Because generally, live service games are multiplayer. If you have a single-player live service game, fuck. I'm so sorry. I didn't know you worked for Ubisoft. So, it is both a good thing and a bad thing. It has its pros and cons, because it allows more people to get into the door of playing video games. But it also maybe waters down the experience of gaming, right? Because when someone is buying a game, it's a commitment. When someone is playing a game for free, it's almost easier to just drop, right? The game has to become this enticing loop of quick bursts of dopamine for you to continue enjoying it. Almost always. Right? If you pay for a game, you bought it hoping to God you're going to truly enjoy it. If you're trying a free-to-play game, the same thing doesn't need to apply. You can try it for 10 seconds and turn it off. You didn't spend $60 on it. You didn't spend $50 on it. You didn't spend, unfortunately now, $70 on it. So they're hoping in that quick burst of dopamine they give you that you will continue to enjoy the game enough to eventually play it more, buy the battle pass, and then spend more on cosmetics later. Because the battle pass is like the loss leader. They understand that most people, if they play the game enough, that what they're going to make money off of with those people is just having them online so that they can use that as investor numbers, population numbers. I know people, I don't know why, but I know people who have spent over $5,000 on a game like Fortnite. I don't mean all at once. I mean over the course of them playing since Chapter 4. They're very new to Fortnite, okay? Like maybe it was Chapter 5. They either started in Chapter 4, Chapter 5. Very new to Fortnite. They've spent over $5,000 in the game. It's a couple. It's a husband and wife. And I mean $5,000 separate, not together. Both of them have spent over $5,000 in the game. And that's like the biggest draw for free to play is monetarily. Sometimes you'll snag a whale. Okay, you'll go fishing and those companies will snag a whale. And those whales pay the way for most people to play either completely free to play or as lightly monetized as possible. But we still are susceptible, or we still have to work within the same confines of the systems that were made to entice those whales, right? So the battle passes, the quick dopamine hit gameplay, the almost always very simple to understand and easy to master gameplay systems of a lot of these games. And I say that because, as a perfect example, Fortnite started as a building... Well, okay, Fortnite Battle Royale started as a building plus shooting battle royale, where you had to use the building mechanics and the shooting mechanics to become good enough to like get a win. It was really hard to get a win originally in Fortnite, a long time ago. Then they added bots to the game, made it a little bit easier. Then for the people who can't build or don't want to learn how to build, they also added a no builds version. Now, the no builds version was originally just an experiment, but it worked out so well with the vast majority of the casual player base that it stuck around. And the reason why is because building is hard. So the gameplay of Fortnite lost a lot of its depth for the sake of keeping casuals who might spend more than the competitive players or much more than the invested players of the building ecosystem would. And I think that there's probably charts and graphs out there in their sphere, right, in Fortnite's engagement metrics that proved that. And that's why Zero Build stayed, and why Zero Build is no longer just a limited time mode, because that's what it was going to be. It was going to be, oh, beginning of the season, you can't build, we're going to try this new thing. And they're like, holy shit, this is really fucking popular. Let's just keep it in because it'll boost our player numbers and potentially boost our payer numbers. As you see, all the things I've talked about, you're like, whoa, you're just talking about like algorithms and player numbers. Yeah. So the reason why I say that is because if your game is free to play and potentially has a battle pass, they want you to become a payer. You're not playing the game. Maybe you are, right? You're playing the game, but the game is playing you right back. It's playing you right back. They want to use systems to get you to spend as much as possible on the game, whether it's your time or your money. If they can get both, they're super happy. But the vast majority of people will only spend large amounts of their time and small amounts of their money. And then when they can hook a whale, that's where they get you big. It's the same thing with something like Genshin Impact. And Genshin Impact is different in the fact that you're not just grinding, you're not just playing the game in a way that you're grinding the battle pass, you're also grinding for roles to unlock characters, which is an even slipperier slope, right? You're doing gacha style mechanics where you're rolling for new characters and you're trying to max out your characters in an efficient way because, happy Sunday. Because Genshin Impact has a lot of grinding on the front end to make your character strong enough to use in whatever their raid style or dungeon style in-game content is. So even after you unlock the character by paying for endless amounts of rolls, now you have to grind endlessly to unlock them. They actually have the system perfectly. Genshin Impact has millions of players, by the way, and it's a grind and a paywall fest. My coworker, I think he's 50 or really close to 50. Him and his son play together. His son's like late teens, I think like 18, 19, and he's 50 or close to, maybe like 48, something like that. They play Genshin Impact together, and he told me that he puts in like $25 a week to Genshin Impact at most, and his son probably puts maybe $150 a month, so a little more than 25 a week. Like, I just asked him, I was like, how much do you think you spend on Genshin? And he's like, I don't spend that much, I spend like 25 a week. And I think like 25 a week, that's like gas money, right? If you have like a small car and you live in Texas, I should mention, because I understand gas prices are very different other places. So if I say $25 is gas money, please do not beat the shit out of me in the comment section saying that I'm out of touch and don't drive. I have a car outside. I spend $28 a week on gas because I have a small car. So I was right. Those are the systems and things in free-to-play games that kind of scare me. And this is where I say, like, they're bad for the industry. They're good. Like, free-to-play games and battle passes are good because they're content. They're things to grind for, and they're a reason to keep playing your favorite game. Same thing with a free-to-play game, right? Like, it's easy to get your foot in the door and try it and find out if you like it. But then, on the same token, a free-to-play game waters down the industry as a whole and makes it harder for small independent multiplayer games to break in, because an independent studio probably has to charge you to play their game, right? You gotta pay $20 for this multiplayer experience, or $30 for this multiplayer experience, and then they'll have content packs that cost $10. But instead, you could just go play Fortnite for free. So that's watering down a lot of the smaller startups that could become great games in the industry, right? Or they have to find investors that are fine with making them go free to play, and hope those investors don't back out and pull the plug on the game. Rest in peace, Rumbleverse. And then with battle passes, they become an endless content grind with almost always nothing all that great in there. I think when you look at older battle passes, I think once battle passes were formulated properly, they became significantly less value for the player. Older Fortnite battle passes, I could go back and look at one on like YouTube or whatever, and there was significantly more skins in older battle passes. And anyone who plays Fortnite now is going to disagree with me and say, no, it's actually the exact same number of skins. Wrong. It's the same number of skins if you count variants. Because now they only create like 5 skins for the battle pass, and then they have a variant for each. Maybe it's not even 5. It might be 4. And they have a variant for each. Might be 7. I don't know. I don't know what it is exactly. But you get skins, and then you get a variant of said skin in the main battle pass, and then the extra battle pass at the end, you get a few more variants of the same skins. So you're just getting one skin and then a bunch of recolors like a fucking fighting game instead of getting new original ideas. They're just rehashing the same things that they made at the beginning. They peaked at I think chapter 4 was the last season to not do was the last chapter to not have multiple original skins, right? Could be wrong. It could even be chapter 3, which would have been a long time ago because we're already in chapter 6 now. And that's really bad. I think that like lessens the value of the battle. It kind of waters down and muddies the water of how much value a battle pass is. Which sucks because once again, they're supposed to be free, easy content that make your favorite game better to grind, and in a sense, they're not. Especially when you look at like something like Call of Duty, which originally used to have tons of weapon skins, camos, and wraps that you'd unlock by prestiging your guns and by playing the game. And now a lot of those are just locked to the idea of time gates. Like you just grind enough. You don't even have to have enough kills with the gun, really. You just grind enough to get the battle pass done, and you get a lot of the same cool skins and camos that would have existed in older Call of Duties. Now things like gray matter and stuff like that, and those, yeah, you still have to like get a bunch of kills and level up the weapon. Okay, I'm not saying that those are gone. Don't worry. If you haven't played Call of Duty in forever and you're like, what, those are pay to win now? You just pay and then you have those? No, you can't. I don't think you can do that. I could be mistaken. But I think of the idea of pay to play games, and this is why I mentioned Call of Duty or went back to Call of Duty. The idea of pay to play games with battle passes, especially battle passes that aren't free, is really fucked up. I kind of hate them because why am I paying for a game and then you're charging me every season for a bunch of content you could just do as content drops that I just pay for? Right, I've already paid for the game. I should be able to come back to it whenever I want. I shouldn't have to be time gated and like FOMO'd out of, oh shit, if I don't play enough this season, I don't get these things. Now, some games are doing it right. Right, if you're doing your battle passes like Halo Infinite or like Marvel Rivals and your battle passes don't expire, dude, I have nothing to say about your battle passes. Like, congrats on your perfect free-to-play model. Maybe your skins cost too much, but that ain't got shit to do with me because I'm probably not buying skins anyway, unless I really like your game and want to support it. Time-gated battle passes are the reason why I think battle passes are shit. So your battle passes aren't time-gated, and there's something like, once again, Halo Infinite or Marvel Rivals. I cannot think of any other games that do the same thing. You're cool in my book. Do I explicitly like the idea that all games now, even free-to-play, even pay-to-play games sometimes have battle passes? No. I think that it's a really dangerous precedent to set because it kind of waters down the idea of DLC and content. And, I'm sorry, DLC and in-game content. It waters down those ideas. Like any in-game content or DLC could just become a battle pass in the future where, oh yeah, I bought Ryu in Street Fighter. Street Fighter 8 comes out and Ryu's like dead. So like he's a zombie now. And to unlock Ryu, I have to grind a little battle pass. I paid $6 to unlock the battle pass to grind for Ryu from Streets. Okay, I don't want that. I don't want a future where that becomes the norm. We already have battle passes in, or fight passes in, two of the most popular modern fighting games in Street Fighter and Tekken, and they're doing terrible with those. Like, they're not good passes. They're awful. They're not good. It's like a burgeoning industry that some companies don't have the blueprint for, and it's like making them want to copy that formula to like get extra revenue and get extra sales and get more easy content out the door, but they're not even doing it well enough that it becomes worth it, and that's terrifying. Like, we're getting like soulless corporate slop in the place of what could have been actual real content created by people who give a shit. I think that's my main issue with Battle Pass. How do you guys feel about Battle Passes? Tell me down in the comments section down below. If you were here for the live talk segment on YouTube, me ranting about this shit and maybe informing you of things you didn't think about or know when it comes to the idea of Battle Passes and all of the things that they use to play you for your time and small amounts of your money or make you become a whale, leave a like on the video. Also, say hi, YouTube. My bad. Say hi, Twitch chat to YouTube. Please don't say anything else. Just hi. Don't be weird. And if you like these talk segments and maybe the idea of watching them live and not having to wait for YouTube, come over to the Twitch stream. I stream like 3 to 4 times a week, and I randomly burst out into rants and talk segments all the time whenever someone asks me a simple question about do I like battle passes or not. Anyways, this has been Beanie Thuggish for the YouTubes talking about free-to-play monetization tactics, optics, and metrics used to keep you playing the game, and battle passes in paid and free-to-play games. Signing out and saying peace.